Yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Yes, the football season is over. The Philadelphia Eagles are still your reigning defending Super Bowl champions who have already gotten back into work, but this is not about football. That is in the rearview mirror, even though the draft is coming up and we will probably, look into that very shortly. But for right now, as you see the hat, you already know 59 games into this season. We are in the, last trimester, if you want to say. We are almost home right there. This is the moment kind of where champions are made, essentially. This is when you want to start playing your best basketball. And let's dive into it just a little bit before we get deep dive into it, as the season progresses, as we come up with more videos. But for today, back for it with essentially the second episode of your favorite hoops show, Jump Ball. First one being with your boy Mikey. Shout out to him again. Keep an eye out for that one. Something might be coming up shortly with that, but for now, let's hop back into this Warriors train really quickly. So, trade deadline. I mean, it was like, what, 2 weeks ago, but I mean, what a few days it was. Luka going, all hell broke loose, essentially. But for the Warriors, for us, shout out to the champion, Andrew Wiggins in Miami. Shout out to Kay down in Miami. Shout out to Dennis Schroeder out in Detroit. Shout out to all the boys that contributed. Lindy, Reese Beekman out in Brooklyn right now. I think he's getting some minutes. Shout out to you too. And everybody else that, contributed, whether it was for 1 minute, whether it was, for a ring like Wiggs. Shout out to all y'all. Thank you for your contribution as a dub. Best of success for you guys, against everybody except for us, obviously. But with all of that being said, what we got back in return was 2 years of Jimmy Butler, $55 million. Essentially a year where, he really does get paid 25 with all the California taxes, federal taxes, and everything and combined. But we're not even going to get into that. Let's look at the West standings currently after 7-1 start with Jimmy Butler since the trade deadline. Warriors 7th right now, 32-27, tied with the Clippers, who are 6th as well. Just a records difference. We lost out on a few head-to-head games, so that kind of sucks early into the season. Now those games are coming to bite back. The Rockets are 5th at 37-22, and that's a 5-game discrepancy. Same with the Lakers, just like right about there. So it's not that big of a gap. Essentially, those guys should keep 4th and 5th locked up. So it's gonna go down from 6th and down. Warriors definitely want to get that number 6 spot for sure. They'll actually want to push up to 5th if possible. But we'll see where that gets to. At least 6th is definitely viable with this squad, with one of the most important members of this roster still missing, JK, coming back soon to take off. But let's look at Mr. Wardell Stephen Curry getting into Pisces season. But let's get into his numbers this season. 24 points for the season per game at 36. I feel like it's just looked at and brushed off as it's something easy to do with all these greats that have, shown recently what they can do later into their career. But it's still a very delicate issue that's not being addressed, in the media. That's why LeBron kind of called it out, but we don't even want to deep dive into that. 4.4 rebounds for this season. That's one of the most underrated parts of his game. He's never averaged less than 3.5 rebounds in a season. That was, I do believe, in 2011, 2012, like his second year into the league as a 6'2" point guard. That is actually a very commendable thing for him to do. With 6 assists as well. He's supposedly not a point guard, but essentially he always has over 5 assists a game for his season throughout his career. But that's not to get mentioned as well. He missed 9 games earlier into the season. We lost out on a couple. Injuries plagued most of our season, essentially. D'Anthony Melton getting hurt. Shout out to you too. Forgot to mention you earlier, but him getting injured earlier after being the spark plug that we had needed. You know, he goes out. Everybody else kind of missed games. Draymond missed games. JK missed games. BP missed games, and so on and so forth. But those are not excuses. That's part of the game, part of the game season. But even after all that, started out very well. A murky little middle half, but it's how you finish this up. We'll see where we finish off at. But let's deep dive into a little bit of Jimmy Butler, man, because I think he got a lot of criticism, a lot of unjustified just blame and amongst everything, without understanding his side of the story, just going off. But you know, even after not, you know, playing for almost a month and a half before that trade essentially went through, since that trade has come through, he came in shape as a professional. What has gone down? 7-1. Talk about it. 122 points per game. Let me talk about it. From 9th in the league at 28.6. What we needed was a stabilizer. What did he do? Stabilize everything. He's not averaging crazy amount of points because he doesn't need to do all that. But guess what he is doing? He brings the intensity every game. He brings a focal point offensively every night, amongst so many other things, leadership, so on and so forth. But let me keep on going on with the numbers for all you stat people. 28.6, 9th in the league, to 31.5 at the top of the league. For steals, 8.6, 9th in the league, to 11.6, top of the second in the league. My bad, sorry, not at the top just yet. Defensive rating, 112.2, 10th in the league, to 106.3, top of the league. Let me talk about it. Keep on going. From opponents' points per game, 111.9, dropped it down to 106 per game. Let's talk about it. And this is heading into the playoffs with one of the more vocal points of the offense. I mean, defensively, like, he's not a weak link as well. You know, JK is still coming back, as I mentioned. Like, we're not even going to get into that. But let me just give a quick shout out to the Orlando game. 56 to finish off February by Steph Curry. Are you really surprised? Like, it shouldn't be a surprise to anybody if you really have followed his game as you say you have, possibly. The efficiency was I surprised with? Yes. But at the same time, the way this month had been going, like, I feel like it was due. Not having any 30-point games, I think, or not having any 40-point games, and then boom, you just get a 56er. That just happens. That's Mr. Wardell Stephen Curry for you guys. But a quick shout out to the rookie QP, dropping in 19. I think second leading scorer in that game. Shout out to you. Shout out to GP with that block. I think that was Cole Anthony. Got beat. Boom. Recovered. Almost game saving block. He's been a lot better from the 3-point line this month as well. So going into the playoffs, if he keeps improving and gets about 30-35% just to kind of finish the playoffs out while playing his defensive role, like, that's going to be very essential. Shout out. I have been saying this has been Moses Moody breakout season. I am so happy to see my boy. He just got his back right before the season, and he has been tremendously like, getting better and better each game. I think we're 10-0 since, or 11-0, 12-0, undefeated since Moses Moody's been in the starting lineup as a undersized small power forward, whatever you want to call him. But yeah, shout out to Mo being a professional, doing his thing, developing as we would want him to, especially with being with the main roster, getting some games down in the G League as well, but mostly being with the main roster and earning his minutes, to being in starter as well. BP, shout out to you as well. Since your injury kind of plaguing you early on to the season, you have came back fought back, you know, showed what you have been. All those trade talks that people have been talking about during the trade deadline, put you here, put you there. You just been showing why, you know, you are the piece that you are, that we have been needing, and that you are going to be going forward. Shout out to you, keep balling out. And then let me just get down to business. We are less than, 15 minutes away from tip off with the game against the 76ers in Philadelphia. Steph Curry walking into the building, you know, donning that answer blue jacket, that swagger. I don't know, I feel like at least a 30 balls coming down from him. Jimmy Butler playing back in Philly, I could see a 20 ball from him. Draymond with his swagger. Could it be a trap game? I don't think so. Joel Embiid, you know, being out for the whole season, I think that team's just, that organization just needs a change, like just a breath of fresh air, just, I don't know, something new. But right now, yeah, this is not the season for them to have a primetime game with Steph Curry in this run. But we'll see what happens. Maybe this is a trap game. But moving on, we do have the Hornets in Charlotte, talking about, you know, Steph Curry back home after just beating them last time, couple, you know. Let me just say. But talking about that trap game, back to back, the second night of this back to back. Maybe Steph plays one game but misses out the other, just for safety and precaution. But at the same time, either missing his essentially home game or missing his other home game in MSG that I've been saying. Another 50 ball can be coming through Madison Square Garden. Stand up, New York, stand up. That man is coming back to the greatest show on earth currently right now, is coming back to the Mecca. Y'all better stand up. Be warned, New York, be warned. And then comes Brooklyn. He might sit out that game. And then back with the Pistons. We will be back before that game. But we will see how these 4 games go down. I say New York might be the only games that they lose. Tonight, I do see us winning pretty well. And then we move on to the Monday-Tuesday matchup between the Hornets and the Knicks, back to back. I'm going to catch y'all very soon. Thank you all for tuning in. Episode 2 down in the books. Catch y'all very soon. Love.